right, Lori, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you. Hello, welcome everyone to our Transfer Tuesday UH Mānoa Transfer Workshop Series. I just want to quickly introduce the three people at Leeward and at UH Mānoa who set up these workshops. One is Amy McKee. She's the Ka'i'ie counselor at UH Mānoa, assigned to Leeward Community College. Jordan Luton, who's our Leeward Community College online counselor, and I'm Laurie Labarrios, and we welcome you to today's session. So today's agenda will run from about 12 to 1:15, and we'll start with ethnic studies. And we do have Dr. Rod Labrador here. He's an associate professor and also academic advisor from UH Mānoa.
And also joining us today, we have the Hawaiʻinuiākea School of Hawaiian Knowledge. We have Lehua Nishimura, who is the academic advisor for Hawaiian Studies. Dr. Konia Freitas, who is a faculty member at Hawaiinuiākea and is also the former director and heads the recruitment team. We have Kainehe Chunlum, who is the Hawaiian language advisor. And we also have students Tehani and Leimana joining us today. So before we get started with their presentations, we just want to share with folks a little bit more about UH Mānoa. So the University of Hawaii at Manoa was founded in 1907 and is considered a land, sea, space, and sun grant institution. We offer over 100 undergraduate majors for students to choose from, as well as many graduate and professional degrees, including law, medicine, business, social work, education, and engineering. We are the flagship campus in the University of Hawaii system, a Research One institution, NCAA Division I school, and we strive towards being a native Hawaiian place of learning. If you are thinking of transferring to UH Mānoa within the next 1 to 2 years, we'd love for you to consider joining the Ka'i'ie program. The Ka'i'ie program is a partnership between UH Mānoa and the community colleges, and we help students transfer smoothly and efficiently to Manoa by providing proactive academic advising, waiving the application fee, and giving students the ability to register early when they do transfer to Manoa. To join the program, you just need to have at least 24 transferable credits, a 2.0 GPA, and have at least one more semester remaining at your community college. We are signing up students right now who plan to transfer for fall 2021. So please let me know in the chat if you're interested in joining the program.
You can go ahead.
Yeah. So now we'll transition to the Hawaiian Studies Department. I'm not sure if Dr. Kunia or Lehua, who's sharing the screen, but feel free to take it away.
All right. Aloha, everyone. I'm Konia Freitas. I'm from the Kamakakua Kalani Center for Hawaiian Studies. Lehua Nishimura is our academic advisor. And here we go. Let's see here. This presentation is about our undergraduate program for Hawaiian Studies. As you are probably well aware, we are located at the UH Mānoa campus. And it's really our goal at Hawaiian Studies to provide quality higher education in the area of Ike Hawaii to all of our students. And we do so with the goal of having not only students develop a foundation in Hawaiian knowledge, but to also apply this knowledge to critical issues facing our state as well as Oceania and beyond. And let me say as well, I am also a very proud graduate of Leeward Community College. I am delighted to be here. And like Rod, I too am also a first generation college attendee from my family. So in that respect, we tend to share some similarities. So our presentation will talk a little bit about the legacy of Kamakakua Kalani. We'll go over some of our program goals in our area of concentration. We'll look at our program at a glance, and we have a couple of students joining us today who can speak to their experiences at Hawaiian Studies. We'll take a little bit of a closer examination of our program details and also look at some of the career paths of our past graduates, and you will have we'll also provide some of our contact information.
I'm not sure if you wanted the PowerPoint up yet.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's not showing? Oh, wait. Okay,
Well,
just a minute. Okay, wait.
Up or...
Yep. You know what I didn't do? Kalamai, I didn't share screen. Ah. All right.
Okay.
Thank you for telling me that. So our program, our legacy, not much people seem to know. Our program was established in 1977, in fact, to establish a Hawaiian Studies program as well as a Bachelor of Arts degree. The proposal was submitted by Abraham P.E. Anai'a, who at that time was a professor in geography. And he argued successfully that Hawaii is really the only state and the UH really the only institution that can and should and would develop a well-rounded program in Hawaiian studies. And if it doesn't happen here, he said it would not happen anywhere. And it serves to reason. How can it be that the University of Hawaii didn't have a Center for Hawaiian Studies program until 1977? The university was established in 1907. So it was Abraham P. Anai'a, to whom we owe a lot of appreciation. And in 2002, our facility was dedicated in the name of Gladys Ainoa Kamakaku Okalani Brandt. Our building is named after Mrs. Brandt. She was a Native Hawaiian educator who was the only Native Hawaiian female actually to serve as the chair of the University of Hawaii Board of Regents. Our program goals are still similar to those that Abraham P. Anai'a discussed when he was suggesting the program. And it is to provide high quality undergraduate and graduate education. We're constantly developing new courses. It is our goal to promote scholars in Hawaiian studies and have the center serve as a focal point at the university where the community can express their concerns about and participate in the preservation and study of Hawaiian culture and our community. Hawaiian Studies graduates students with BAs and Master of Arts degrees. We offer roughly about 80 courses in undergraduate and graduate study, and we have about 35 faculty, staff, and graduate students. Perhaps you are aware that our building is located along Dole Street. We miss being at the building under the current conditions, but what I do want to say is that in Hawaiian Studies, we are one of the more fortunate programs to have a library dedicated specifically to Hawaiian Studies. It's a specialized library. And if you go on Instagram, you can follow Halau Lakamelono on Instagram and find out what is available to you online while we're away from the building. Yep. Our areas of concentration, we have 5. These are foundational and they comprise our overall program of study. Undergraduate students must take 1 course from each of the 5 areas prior to declaring an area of study for their concentration and focus in in-depth studies in one of these areas. So we have Hala'olaka, which is basically Native Hawaiian creative expression. Kukulu Aupuni looks at envisioning the nation. Kumukahiki is very interesting. It's a comparative study program or strand between Hawaiʻinuiākea and other indigenous and oceanic communities. Malama Aina is the Hawaiian perspective on resource management. This is probably our most popular strand right now. And Mo'olelo O'iwi looks at Native history and literature. And I'm very happy to say that just recently we hired Kamali Kuwata and Professor Leilani Basham, who are additional faculty in Mo'olelo O'iwi as well as Hala'olaka. A little bit about Hawaiian Studies. We are a relatively small program, housed within Hawaiʻinuiākea School of Hawaiian Knowledge. In 2005, we enrolled a little over 100 students, and our highest enrollment was actually in 2011, where we had about 123 students in our BA and MA program. Our average GPA among our students is about 3.4, 3.8, 3.48, I should say. We have students in terms of persistence, they continually, students, I'm happy to say, come back, right? So they persist into their second year, which at the University of Hawaii can sometimes be a problem. But we have a fairly high persistence rate, and a total of 35 students received either their BA or their MA degrees in 2019. Yeah, so I will stop sharing and turn this over to Lehua.
Okay, thanks very much. Here we go. Okay, thanks, Dr. Konia. And now on to our requirements. To get your Bachelor of Arts degree at UH Mānoa, you need 120 credits. And this is the breakdown for that amount. About 38 credits will come from general education requirements. As Dr. Konia said, we are in the School of Hawaiian Knowledge, so Hawaiian Studies and Hawaiian Language majors need to take 5 courses as requirements for our school requirements. For actual major requirements, they consist of core requirements, an area that the students concentrate in, and a capstone course, and those total 29 credits. Students will still need to take more credits or more electives to meet the 120. So about 38 more, and some students are really happy about that because their interests, well, there's a lot of different Hawaiian Studies courses that they are interested in taking that do not fall in their area of concentration. So that the fact that they have to take more electives will allow them to take those extra courses that they wanted more information in. For the 38 credits, again, some students take more Hawaiian Studies courses, some students will take more Hawaiian language courses. Some students will declare a certificate, like many of our students have done in the past with declaring a certificate in ethnic studies. And some will declare a minor. So certificates are about 15 to 18 credits or so. Minors are somewhere about 15, 18, 21, around that area. And then some will even declare another major, which somewhere around 30, 35, 40 number of credits. So a student could technically finish 2 degrees in 4 years. And in fact, we have one student graduating this semester with a double major in Hawaiian Studies and Ethnic Studies. So there we go. Oops. Okay, so these are our core requirements. Again, students need to take 1 course from each of our different areas. They then will choose one of those areas and take 12 more credits in that specific area. In their last year with us, their fall semester, they'll take a capstone course. And these are just some feedback we receive from students on prior courses that they took or projects that they completed. So we do teach a ho'okele course, post-contact chiefs course, which is one of our core requirements, a mahi'ai kalo course, and then we do have a field school, and generally this would be offered during the summer. Our students go on to careers and positions in the workforce, a variety of, a range of different ones across the spectrum. Some will become professors, doctors, chefs, librarians. What else do we have here? Legislators, social workers, administrators in higher ed, executives in private and public institutions. Here on this slide is just a few or are just a few of specific positions that our prior graduates either were in previously or are in currently. I just wanted to show you, so I'm going to, oh, hold on just a sec. Here is my contact information. I went through that really quickly because we do have 2 students with us that's going to share some of their experiences. I wanted to make one quick scroll though through our major requirements. Oops. Can everybody see our major requirements? Yeah, okay. So here we go. So this is the core, not too many choices, but once students choose their area to concentrate in, they do have more options under each of the different concentration areas. Okay, so that's it for me. And now we have 2 students, Tehani and Leimana, who will share with us their experiences in our program. So let me stop sharing. Okay. Thanks, guys. Go ahead. Tehani, you want to go first?
Aloha. I'm Tehani Kavanila Arikayos from Maui. I transferred from UH Maui College. This is my 3rd semester, I believe, at UH Mānoa. I am taking up Hawaiian Studies and Hawaiian Language. So I am a double major. I'm graduating next semester. For my, in fact, I was actually a part of the Ka'i'i program on Maui with Kehau Newhouse, which is on here. Hi, Kehau. As far as my experience so far here on Manoa, I really enjoy it because, oh yeah, my area of concentration is Halaolaka. So that is the area where you're more creative and, you know, hands-on. I honestly had a tough decision in choosing what to do because I'm just open to learning. And that's pretty much why I decided to, you know, major in Hawaiian Studies and Hawaiian Language, because I wanted to learn more of, you know, the culture and language. And because growing up, I never spoke fluently or grew up in a house that did so. As far as that, I just gotta say I enjoy all these opportunities that have been offered, especially like from these classes that you get to learn different avenues of how to use, you know, pursue and, you know, thrive in the culture rather than, you know, because I only grew up as like a hula dancer, so, or, you know, as an olapa, so it's like just learning different ways of being creative, speaking and whatnot. But I will let Leimana speak because we can answer in the question and answers. Mahalo.
Aloha kako. My name is Leimana Pu'u. I'm also from Maui too. That's where I am right now. And I spent about 3 years at UH Hilo. And then I decided to transfer to UH Mānoa to be closer to my grandma who wasn't doing well. So Lehua helped me a lot in Hilo to transfer and get my credits down. And to me, it was better too because I was able to really pinpoint what I wanted to learn about and what I was interested in learning about. The Hawaiian Studies program at UH Hilo it's combined, both Hawaiian Studies and Hawaiian Language. So it's kind of hard to really pinpoint and have classes that are really specific to what you're interested in. So transferring to Manoa really helped like to open up my eyes about all the different classes that are available for students. Some classes that I have now was mentioned on one of the slides, like Aloha Kanaloa, where we even have time, like assignments that you take on your own to the kai and you do it on your own, or La'au Lapa'au, where we learn how to make our own medicines, which has been super helpful, especially in the time that we all are in right now in this pandemic. So it's a lot of learning and a lot of information, but it's very specific to certain things that you want to learn. And I appreciate that. And I'm super interested in all the different classes. Like Lehua had mentioned, there's so much classes that are available to the students. And yeah, that's pretty much my run through. So mahalo.
Mahalo Leimana and Tehani. Okay. Okay, that's it for us, Amy. Anyone have any questions?
Actually, before we get to general questions, should we go to Kainehe? Do you want to talk about Hawaiian language?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'll try to do this quickly. I know we're kind of running short on time. So aloha kako, my name is Kainehe Chanlam. I'm the interim academic advisor for Hawaiinuiākea. I'm actually the educational specialist for Hawaiinuiākea, which means I'm like the kawa of the office, but I wear many hats. And this hat keeps coming back to me. It doesn't want to go away. Our academic, but I love it. I do love working with the students. I just really hope that we get a permanent academic advisor who can commit their entire time to this position. So I am a proud graduate of Windward Community College. I was also a student at Leeward Community College, but I was banished because I wasn't going to class all the time. And then when I went to Windward, that's when I first started taking Hawaiian. And from my first Hawaiian class, that's when I really got back on track. So, you know, for me, I know the importance of, especially for Native Hawaiians, finding out who you are and solidifying your foundation. And that's what will truly get you back on, you know, a path to success. So here at Hawaiinuiākea, that's almost exactly what our mission and our model kind of entail. So we hope to strengthen, to revitalize Hawaiian language, especially in Hawaii, and hope that our students and graduates become the foundation on which a thriving Olelo Hawaii society is rebuilt in Hawaii. Because we know the importance of the Hawaiian language, not only to the Hawaiian people, but everybody that calls Hawaii home, because Olelo Hawaii is the native language of Hawaii. So in this presentation, I'm going to be talking briefly about our major requirements, and then some interesting things about our about what our department offers, some interesting Papahana field school programs. So to begin, our department offers a BA and MA, a minor and a certificate in Hawaiian language. So the BA and the MA both have 33 credits specific to the major. The minor in Hawaiian is 18 credits and the certificate is 15. A lot of our students will also double major in Hawaiian studies, but we've also found that a lot of our students like to double major in sciences and computer science, business. We find our students in a lot of places. And we truly believe that for our students, you know, the Hawaiian language, like for me, was the thing that helped to get them on track and to help them figure out what they want to do with their, you know, as a career. And so wherever they may end up, if they may become, you know, work in business, work in the tourism industry, healthcare, Hawaiian language is their foundation on which they, you know, can build a successful life for themselves. We have a total of 44 undergraduate courses and 15 graduate courses. And our courses aren't just like staring at grammar and syntax and all that, because not everybody's into that. So we try to find, you know, interesting ways to not only to learn the language, but to apply it to all aspects of life. Yeah. So we have classes, mele classes, so classes on Hawaiian songs and hula, history, folklore. We do have your standard linguistic class if you like that. You know, arts. We have a cooking class in Hawaiian, a Hawaiian radio show class, newspaper class. We have a bunch of different classes aimed at, you know, developing our students' skills in Hawaiian. So when they get out into the world, they can use Hawaiian in all parts of their life, not just teaching grammatical structures. So we offer, right now we're offering 3 like summer programs that students can earn credits for. The most popular one right now, I believe a lot of the students, especially from Maui College, have participated in Maui Akama. So Maui Akama is a Hawaiian language immersion place-based summer program. And the good thing about this program is that students can earn up to 6 upper division Hawaiian credits. So that's like, it's a choice between Hawaiian 321, 430, I forget the number for it, but it's like the Hawaiian geography class, and then, or choosing a directed studies course. So this really helps students who are double majoring, students who may be doing a minor to quickly finish their degree requirements. So this Maui Akama, the students for the first week, they'll spend they have classes on Oahu, and I believe they visit the Lo'i in Punaluu and Kanewai. And then the second week of the program, they fly to Maui. And they kind of just go and ho'omaka'ikai Maui, and then they go to the wahipana, they learn about the mo'olelo for those wahipana on Maui. A kind of new program that started was Kawaihuno Kana'awao. So this is, and then so this last one is led by Professor Kapa Oliveira. This new one that kind of started in 2018, I believe, was called Kawaihuno Kana'awao. So this program is led by Professor Ku'ifo Lani Kanahele Wong. So she's a native from Niihau. So she's one of our in-house native speakers. And this program is similar to Maui Akama, where it's an immersion summer program. This program, though, is a week long, and it's held on Kauai. And it's very unique because the students spend 24/7 with native speakers. So two houses are rented in Kekaha because a lot of the Niihau people have left Niihau and they moved to Kekaha. So we rent houses in Kekaha, and Kumuipo invites her family over, and students participate in various activities with the Manaleo. So they do like cowboy stuff, fishing, cooking. They visit the Kekaha school, and then this past year, all the students actually were able to go to Niihau and sleep over for one night. And so you're just getting bashed in Hawaiian, and you really get to see what your level is in Hawaii, because you have no choice. And so you really get to see what your degree is worth. And it is a very unique and to me rewarding experience. Because truthfully, we're really thankful for Kumuipo, because if it wasn't for her, this opportunity wouldn't ever be made available to our students. And it is a real rare opportunity to be able to go and stay in a community that is truly a Hawaiian language speaking community. And what I think it does for our students is it gives them a glimpse into what our future could be if all of us, the graduates, go out and actively are building Hawaiian language communities. And then this last program, which recently became, so this program has been going on for a while, but it recently became a program where students could earn credits, is Iola Kanaloa. So this is led by Professor Kaliko Baker. And students are taken to Koho'olawe. I believe it's for about a week. And students will participate in the makahiki ceremonies. So they'll go in November, they'll also go in March to close the makahiki. And students will participate in malama aina activities. So they'll help carve out, I believe they carve out the new roads on Koho'olawe. When workers go, they have safe places to walk without getting blown up. And then they also participate in religious ceremonies too. So this is also a really good, I guess for the students, it's a really good way for them to kind of recenter themselves, yeah. And be able to visit a place like Koho'olawe, which is really symbolic, you know, to us as Hawaiians for a victory, in a kind of victory for us, and to see, you know, what the Lahui can do together if we alulike. And then the last thing I kind of want to share was different papahana different events that we run throughout annually. So we have a lot of, for anybody who loves music, Hawaiian music, we have a lot of Hawaiian music events thanks to our current director, Professor Keawe Lopez. He runs La Mele, this one over here, which is like a Hawaiian language competition for the students from Hawaiian immersion schools. So he invites all the Hawaiian immersion school students to come, and then they'll compete as groups. They have soloists. There's a panel of famous Hawaiian musicians that come and talk to the students to really encourage the Kaipuni kids to go for it in Hawaiian language, whatever they want to do. Yeah. He also does Ke Velo Monet with his Hawaiian 384, which is a smaller scale. It's a Hawaiian, so Hawaiian 384 is a Hawaiian composition class for a Mele composition class. So he invites famous Hawaiian composers to come to the class and talk to the students at the university, to help them develop their skills in music composition. Other programs that we have are La Launapu, which is a Hawaiian language potluck that we hold every semester. Mukiki Vai, which is like a showcase for our Hawaiian language graduates, normally hold it for our Hawaiian language students, normally held in May. Kuika Mana, which is rather new, which is it's kind of like a welcoming party for all of our graduates, and so for all of our majors, so all the majors can come and get to know one another and the professors. Nalehuo Kaka, which is a new series that we started. It's like well, right now it's like a webinar because we can't meet face to face, but yeah, so we invite guests to come and talk about different topics related to Hawaiian language. And then we have La Manaleo, which is also led by Kumu Ipo. So she invites family members to come so the students here can meet face to face with native speakers. We also have a newspaper, Professor Liana Wong runs an article in the Star Advertiser, Kawaku Kalahale. And then there's an in-house newspaper, Koluhoi, led by Professor Kaikina de Silva. And then, so the last thing I want to talk about before I'm done is what you can do with a Hawaiian language degree. So I was guilty too for thinking that when I get my Hawaiian language degree, the only thing I can do is teach. And so I think about 2 years ago, I was tasked with trying to reach out to all of our our alumni and see where they ended up. And I was truly shocked to find out that while, yes, a lot of them did become teachers, a lot of our graduates ended up all over the place. So some were working for the government, some were working in the tourism industry, some became doctors, nurses. So I truly believe that, for our graduates, some of them who, Hawaiian language is life, so they will become kumu because they want to make sure they're actively, directly teaching and perpetuating Hawaiian language to the next generation. But for a lot of our other, graduates, Hawaiian language is the foundation on which they build their careers. And they want to integrate Hawaiian language in whatever they do. And that's how they'll give back and make sure that Hawaiian language survives. Mahalo nui.
Oh my goodness, mahalo everybody. I feel so inspired now to pursue Hawaiian language and Hawaiian studies. Like, I don't know about y'all. But we did have one question come up in the chat. We have a student who's currently at UH Maui College. So a lot of Maui folks in the house today. I love it. And she is wondering, what that experience is like to transfer from UH Maui College and do Hawaiian studies there to doing Hawaiian studies at Manoa, and how many of the credits are transferable? So, if anybody wants to take a stab at that question.
Yeah, honey, you want to go first?
I believe all the credits are transferable, right? Right, Auntie Lipa?
Yes.
Just like, it was a smooth transition, I gotta say. Yes, that's my answer.
Sorry, is that all the question was? I thought it was it?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
most of the question, but I have a follow-up question to that too. So I know Hawaiian language is taught at all of the community colleges, and could you folks talk about your experiences in starting language at your community college, and then how is it different or similar to when you took your language classes at Manoa?
Okay, Leimana and Tehani.
Okay, I'll go then. Starting at the community college, like I said, like I only started learning from there. It was good because then a lot of the kumu, they're very personal and they're you know, great to engage with and understanding. And then honestly transferring to Manoa after obtaining my associates is different because then all the kumu do have different teaching skills and methods, but it's good when you adjust. But I'm so like, but then you know, their level will continue the more when you just keep going. Just keep going. That's all I gotta say.
For me, it was coming from Kakula. It was their olelo over there is intense, but I did learn a lot over there. So transferring to Manoa now, it's kind of hard because it's different from the two campuses. So it's kind of hard because some of my classmates they know different structures than I do. And then being on the computer, it's kind of hard to, you know, some people are ashamed, they don't talk. So it's like it's a big learning lesson for everybody in class. You know, everyone's at different levels, and being not face-to-face is a bit difficult too. But meeting with Kumuipo on the Manaleo is very helpful too in practicing olelo. So there's a lot of things out there that can help if you're having a hard time.
I had a question for Kainehe, if it's okay. You know the Maui, I think it's Maui Akama, the Kauai Kaho'olawe. In addition, they're gonna earn upper division credits, but how do they fund that? That sounds like a wonderful experience, but how do they fund that stay?
So the Maui Akama, before COVID, I believe the students would pay somewhere around $500. So truthfully, for the classes, they're only paying for the admin fees. So it's like $142 per class, and the rest of the money was for the plane ticket and then food or whatever else there might be. For Kawaihuno Kana'awao, the Kauai one, the students just lucked out and they didn't have to pay for anything other than if they wanted to take the course, then they just paid the admin fee. So 142, but the plane ticket and the food and the housing and the car was all covered. Kaho'olawe, for the credit is the same thing, where they're only paying for the admin fee, and then the plane ticket is purchased by our department. Yeah,
it's a great experience.
So for this year, if COVID isn't figured out, for Maui Akama this past year we did it online, so the students they didn't have to pay for the airfare, so they ended up getting like 6 credits for, was that $280 something? Yeah,
it's like such a deal.
Yeah,
even when they actually travel, it's like Kainehe said, less than $500, and that's for everything, including the tuition. So that's, and it's amazing.
Wow, that's great. Thank you.
Do any of our attendees have questions for our presenters? If so, feel free to put them in the chat or in Q&A. And if not, I'll keep asking questions because I wrote a bunch. So one question I have is there a BAM program being developed for Hawaiian studies or Hawaiian language?
So on Hawaiian language side, yes. I believe that everything has kind of gone through. I just didn't want to put it in yet if I was wrong. I didn't get to talk to our curriculum specialist, but it's between Hawaiian language and the College of Ed. So it would be, I think it was similar to ethnic studies. So it was 4 years, they would get the BA in Hawaiian language. And then in the 5th year, they would get their MEDT under College of Ed. So that was for students who want to become immersion teachers or teachers for the state of Hawaii, so they can get licensed.
And we've also been working on a BAM program, and Dr. Konia has been working on it with College of Ed, and she can give you some information about it.
Yeah, our program sort of mirrors what Kainehe just said. It would be you get your BA in 4 years, and then you get your MA from College of Ed. So it's the MEDT. You graduate with your BA. In your senior year, you transfer to your MA program in College of Ed. And you also get to share 9 credits, which is great for the student because as you enter into your MA program in your senior year, you're still paying an undergraduate tuition. And so that's where a lot of the savings and the benefit comes in for undergraduate students. So that's one in the College of Education, the MEDT. And you graduate, once you complete your MA program, you graduate with most, if not all of your credentials to teach. So it's a really, so we're in the final stages of getting that program approved. And we are also in the very early stages of discussing BAM with the Department of Urban and Regional Planning. So my background happens to be in urban and regional planning. And so what we notice is that we have a lot of students who are interested in getting basic foundation in Hawaiian knowledge or Ike Hawaii, and then they want to go into other more focused disciplines. So they want their grounding in Hawaiian knowledge, and then they want to go off into maybe urban planning. So we're just in the very, very early discussion stages of that program as well.
Ooh, that's really exciting to hear that there's some BAM pathways being developed. Right on. And then I have a question about double majoring. You know, if students are interested in double majoring either with Hawaiian studies, Hawaiian language, or ethnic studies, when do you folks recommend that students make a decision? Should they do that before they transfer? Can they decide like within their first year at Manoa after they transfer? What would be your folks' recommendation?
It would probably be, the latest would probably be their first semester at UH because they're gonna start taking electives, right? So if they wanted to even try to finish in the 4 years, they would wanna declare it as soon as possible. But Rod, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think similar, but it's also for a lot of our students who've transferred from the community colleges, they also take a lot of classes, or they take classes during the summer sessions. And so this allows them gives them a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more time to complete their, more time to decide if they're going to double major, but still the same amount of time to complete their degree. And so I get students who are, who are in their second semester, who've transferred over from one of our CCs, who decide that they want to do ethnic studies after, or want to double major in ethnic studies after deciding what they want to do during their first semester on our campus. And so, and they're still able to complete their ethnic studies degree.
Thank you.
For our, Amy, what we have on the program sheet, so I just put the link in the chat box, but on that website, the program sheet website, we have our double major Hawaiian studies, Hawaiian language 4-year plan on that website.
Oh, perfect, thank you. That'll actually be really helpful because I have some students who are looking at doing the double major, but like STAR doesn't make it look very nice, so.
No.
Yeah, program sheets are a little bit more helpful. And so sorry, I know we're coming short on time, but I have one more question is, what does the future look like for Hawaiian studies, Hawaiian language, and ethnic studies in terms of online classes? Once it's safe to return back, are the classes going to go back to be in person, or are the faculty a little bit more open to teaching online now?
So, our department, we have these debates before COVID, these ongoing debates about, if Hawaiian can be taught online, and, how well students would be able to, comprehend and learn. But I think what you know, during this time, it's kind of forced everybody to, you have to teach it online. So we're really hopeful for the future in being able to develop more online courses. We're actually thinking about developing an online BA in Hawaiian language, because now that we've had to try all of our classes online, we know what works, what doesn't work, and how to make it better. So that's definitely something we're looking forward to in the future.
Okay.
For ethnic studies, we already have our online certificate approved. We just need to figure out all of the, we're working with our college to roll that out. But students can actually complete their a certificate or even a major in ethnic studies by just taking our online classes. It's not a formal online program that way, but we have enough courses that are offered online that you'll be able to complete either your certificate or your degree. We are also, like Hawaiian language, we're also pursuing online BA. There are several other departments in our college that are doing that already. It was proposed to us to also offer in the future an online master's program. And so that's something that that's probably in the works. But I think COVID has shown us that we can deliver quality education via remote learning. And for folks who might not necessarily have wanted to do that, but it is an option for our students, and especially for students who aren't able to be physically with us. It is an option. And our department's also been participating in some of the other kind of innovative online programs. Like I think Jordan was talking about being part of the those 5-week courses. I just finished my first 5-week course a couple of weeks ago. And so we're participating as part of the social sciences of the oceans. And so we have a couple courses in ethnic studies that's offered through that. And so I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I know, just like what Kainahe is saying about our faculty, we have those same kinds of discussions. And especially given the kind of emphasis on civic engagement service learning that our department has, it's really important to have that face-to-face interaction, kind of creating the community. But also at the same time, we also know that technology, remote learning, all of these things are also important in being able to create those kinds of communities, right? And the pandemic is showing us that it is possible. It's just a different kind of community.
I think for Hawaiian studies, we will have some professors who will stay on the online track. As you can imagine, not all of our courses are well suited for online instruction. We have Va'a courses, Lo'ikalo courses, local I'a courses that you really can't, where you really got to get out there and do the work. So for some courses, we are eager to get back to see people and to talk to people in person and hug people and say aloha and to do the work that our courses require. But for other professors, the courses are very well suited for online delivery, and I'm sure some of them will stick with it. But again, not all of our courses are well suited for strictly online delivery.
Thank you. All right, folks. Well, are there any last thoughts before we close out our session today? No? Okay. All right, Laura, you want to close us out?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank each and every one of you, and especially the students, Lemana and Tehani. It's always good to hear student voices. But thank you, Lehua, Konia, Rod, Kainahe. We really appreciate you partnering with us, and we hope to continue this partnership and this bridging with our students from the CCs to you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mahalo for having us.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
All right. And for folks joining us and watching this later, please check out our next Transfer Tuesday webinar. It's going to be December 1st with the Honors Program and Pre-Health Pre-Law Advising Center. And if folks want to stay on the chat, stay around and chat, feel free to do so.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, Lori. Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.